The reality is that if we don't work together as a team, then it's going to be that much harder.
I just know that something is going to go wrong almost always. It will eventually work. It's just a matter of going through the ebbs and flows. Going cold turkey and you're starting a new business, there might be some time before, any money comes in. You're likely going to have money going out than coming in first.
A fire went on. Okay, I need to figure this out because now there's no steady income.
Yeah.
I need to have consistent closings. Running after anything. Oh, you want to go downtown? You want to go to Hamilton? You want to go to Niagara? You want to go?
Yeah.
And I was running around. It doesn't matter. I would drive 500 kilometers a day if I had to. You got to stay hungry. You got to keep looking at what you want, and always learn how to evolve and trust yourself. Welcome back to the If You Build It podcast. I'm Riyad with my co-host Saman and Will.
Yes, the If You Build It podcast is a podcast that's brought to you by DR Home. DR Home provides you with up to 50% on custom blinds and shutters. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, Riyad, Will, and Saman from the DR Group, and we have some exciting news for you.
We are finally launching DR Home.
And this is your opportunity to get your custom blinds and shutters for up to 50% off compared to the market.
I think he goes to bed sleeping and thinking about that.
I do. I've been a little sticky.
Good job.
Thank you very much. Yes, Saman, you have something to say.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. As always, subscribe to the channel. Please like, subscribe, drop comments, questions, and we will get to your questions personally. And please share it with anyone who may be interested in watching this as well.
Perfect.
What do we have on score for us today, Will?
We have our boy back, Mr. Joseph Stewart. Look, you happy to be here?
Thrilled.
Mr. Producer.
The producer.
He's here against his will. But this episode's about finding your motivation. We're all business owners. And I think it's important that, if we interview people, that at times we get interviewed and talk about our experiences, our journey, our story. And so Mr. Joseph Stewart is going to ask us some questions and we will chit-chat about them. And then at the end, Joseph brought us an amazing gift that we're going to discuss because I love getting gifts. And so, Joseph, take it away.
Okay. So the first question is an interesting one because I think a lot of times when people talk about entrepreneurship and their journey, they tend to highlight the positive things. In this situation, we want to talk a little bit about the other side of being an entrepreneur. So the first question that I'll give to the group is, what is your least favorite thing about the business? We'll start with Riyad.
So real estate in general or being an entrepreneur?
Well, I think either or, right?
Yeah.
If I had to pick the business, I'm going to say the stigma of realtor, kind of what we talked about last time, the stigma of realtors and how the public views us. If I have to talk about just entrepreneurial, it's a constant grind. And sometimes you don't know how to shut it off.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I go to bed, I'm still thinking about my day or what to do or whatever it is. And so turning it off sometimes is hard.
Yeah, for me, I would say the hardest part is when you're not in a great market and you have to, you're dealing with a big asset and you have to make sure everything goes, fairly well. And typically, with us, it's not a one person show, right? So you have a team, you have, your stagers, you have your cleaners, you have your painters, and all this has to work out in unison and at the same time, and everything has to be scheduled in advance. And, of course, everyone's busy, so not everything lines up. So I think, the scheduling of all that and making sure everything goes as planned, whether it's a realtor business or just any other business, right? That could be troublesome. And if things aren't going well, figuring out backup plans, that's probably, the least part of my least favorite part of owning a business and running a business. But at the end of it, that's what you get paid for. And those are the, once you deliver those results, that's when you get rewarded for it.
And for me, I think the reason why I'm in real estate, not really. No, whatever. I said it. I think the biggest things reported on in media is real estate. And I think people believe what they see and read. And in reality, the market may be doing one thing, but a certain community or a certain area might be going against the grain, against the trend. And I think people need to understand that real estate at times, though there's a market, is very individual. Sometimes a home could just be that home that just gets multiple offers, or it could be that home that gets one offer that's amazing. And I think people just need to understand that every transaction is different in real estate. None of us can say we've had the exact same transaction within a year, within 5 years, or however long we've been in business, because everything's different. And I think once people understand that it's individual, and again, as realtors, we can only do so much. I mean, you guys heard about my difficult clients I had this year. But if sellers are not willing to put in the work themselves, then the outcome will not be what they want. It's not always the realtor's fault. We can only do so much.
So what makes a client so difficult?
Not listening. And again, people could have, their own preconceived notions of what they believe will work. I'm not saying I'm the best, but my background is in events. Selling a home is like doing an event. There's various elements involved in it. And I do believe that they all have to come in and work together.
It's like project management.
Yeah, project management. And I'm not saying I'm not bragging here. I'm not going to brag like who you guys mentioned before. But I am pretty good. But the reality is that if we don't work together as a team, then it's going to be that much harder. And I think buyers can also sense that. If showings matter. Having a clean home matters. First impressions matter. And as a team, we do all the great stuff for the photos. But when we hit the market, the home does not look similar to how it looked in photos and video. We're not going to get the result that we want.
What about you? You're saying the stigma. Which stigmas do you not like?
Oh, just how people think we make so much money. Selling sunset. You watch Selling Sunset. That's not our typical day. We don't sit in the back of a car, be driven to listings, and you're eating or drinking champagne. It doesn't happen, right? They don't. It's not the true reflection of how we operate and how most of us operate.
As realtors, we do a really bad job of showing the actual grind it takes to get a deal done, because I don't think we want to put out negativity. Every job, from a car maker to a construction company, there's people there. There's days that are not good, but typically the best day is the finished product. And in our business, it's getting that sale. And so if we were to show all the aspects involved, the weeks, sometimes years, months to get to where we have a sold product, that story could be a very long one.
Yeah, I would add to that, and I'd say I've had 2 clients this year where the initial conversation started last year in September, and just now we're maybe a week out from going to market.
So what's that now? 8 months?
That's 8 months of constant communication, updating them, changing approaches. Prices change, expectations change. So yeah, this is perhaps 8 months. Let's say the sale does happen, and then you wait another 2-3 months for the closing to happen. Before there's any reward associated with it.
I have this one client right now I'm working with. I've had him for 3 years. They want a specific street in one area. So a house comes up maybe once a year. So I've been showing them this houses on the street for the last 3 years, and they still haven't bought anything.
Yeah,
so the life cycle is very long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. One of the things I wanted to actually ask Saman, since Saman wasn't present on the last episode.
Saman is the smartest one of the three of us.
There you go. Like you talked about the coordination that goes into getting things done. When you're dealing with that, when something goes wrong, what is it that you look for within yourself, or about yourself, that allows you to manage through that in order to get everything to work, even if it doesn't work in the moment, but you see the whole thing through to get it to a point that you want it to? Like, what is it about yourself or the way that you approach things that allows you to manage that?
Good question.
Very good question. Yeah.
1 for 1. No, so 2 for 2 there.
I mean, I think I just know that something is going to go wrong almost always. I'm always, prepared for that, and I think having the repetition of things not going well and being able to make it work at the end, gives me some sort of comfort that it will eventually work. It's just a matter of going through the ebbs and flows
Yeah.
to make it work. In terms of, how do you make it work? I think it's a matter of having, the arsenal of people on your team who can get it done, not depending on one person to do, everything.
Yeah.
Like for example, as simple as working with a cleaner, like there's, this one cleaner that I work with, they always say, call us for your cleaning inside the home, call us for your window cleaning, call us for your appliances cleaning. And I've never done that because if I only work with that one person and they can't be there for me, then it's just not going to work. Right. So I have to kind of like be open to working with other people. But, when things go wrong, I think instead of freaking out, I'm just, there's nothing magical about it. It's just a matter of taking a deep breath and realizing that, okay, now you have to go to option number, option B or option 2, whatever it may be to make it work. But I think over the times I've just realized and I've made it known to myself that, things are going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And the way you fix it is by being patient and just having other people that you can rely on.
So with every problem is a solution, basically.
For sure, yeah.
And the only thing you can't control is you.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly, this is because what I was going to say, what it sounds like is just having that resolve internally is what allows you to navigate almost any problem. It's interesting. I had an experience where someone said to me one time when I was going through some stuff, they asked me, who's the captain of your ship? Right. I thought it was a really interesting idea about, well, yeah, you can't deal with the storms, you can't control the rain, you can't control the waves or whatever. But if you are able to manage yourself, then you can manage the situation around you.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's a really important thing to think about when you're becoming an entrepreneur, especially when you're dealing with so many variables.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Social intelligence is a skill.
100%.
And I'm social. I'm out there. I'm an extrovert. And it is, for me, I love going to parties. I love meeting people. But there are days that I don't want to. But in real estate, you always have to be on. So even if those things, and I've had some stuff happen. I mean, Riyadh today. I called him in the middle of I'm like, what's happening? You just literally said hello. I was like, calm down. I was like, what's going on? But the reality is that if you can't show composure as a realtor when you're the professional in the situation, you're done.
Yeah, I agree. And I would say oftentimes, like in our business, people look at scenarios or events that happen during this process of the buy and sell, and they think that it's a very big deal. But because we deal with it so often that you kind of, that you can calm them down and make them, feel comfortable that, perhaps it's not that big of it's not a event that's going to deter this transaction from happening or having a negative impact on the situation. So I think it's just, being aware of, what is how impactful is a scenario, is it going to have a big impact on the event that's about to take place, or is it just something that's important to them but may not have a big impact on the transaction?
And then also now partnering with the two of you, our network has grown. So like if something goes wrong in mine and my guys can't do that, I usually go with, I have some on Will's guys too. And now we all have this amazing network of people that we all share to, right? So
yeah, I think that's really great. I think it moves us right into our second question, which is, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs and people wanting to be real estate agents or running a business? And the way I would want to answer it, I want you guys to have different answers. Right, we'll start.
Go first then.
I was going to start this side this time, and I'll start with Will and say, like, if there was one key thing that you think is important for someone who wants to become an entrepreneur, or even in the be in the real estate business, what would you tell them?
I would say, because I should have gotten real estate myself like 20 years ago.
I think it's all of us. You know what I mean? Like,
I think if you want to do it. But you have to be, I think the biggest problem with real estate agents in general is their inability to communicate well. And I think communication is something that and not just with other agents, but with their clients, so they understand what's happening in the market and understand what's happening with their home. Communication is something you need to be very strong at. You can have the best education in the world, you can dress the best, you got the best car, but if you don't speak well and articulate things in a fashion that allows people to fully understand what you mean, that could be a detriment to your business. And the second thing that I would say is that social media is a marketing tool, and that's all it is. Really, it's not a way of life. You don't have to. I mean, most people hate it. If I was not in real estate, I don't think I would have it. But for me, again, it's another communication tool. You just got to be clear in how you communicate and how you and also be respectful of other agents as well. I think that's the biggest thing, and other agents, other businesses in general, because we're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to earn money for our families.
The communication from okay, awesome, Simon.
I'd say for me, it's probably networking. So if you're a new entrepreneur or you're a seasoned entrepreneur, I think people need to know of your business. And I think that group of people who know your business always needs to grow. And a way of doing that, of course, we all have our, family, friends, and past clients who know, but how do you get more people to know of your business, or how do you, describe your services to other people? So I think networking is probably very important for anyone getting into business. It's a way to connect with other professionals who may need your services, or you may need their services, and in return, you do one thing for them, they do one thing for you, and there's a trust built there, and that can expand, and that expansion can probably be twofold. Yeah. So I would say networking is very important in being an entrepreneur.
Definitely. What about you, Riyadh?
The hard one, right? I said this before in previous interviews, but focus and filter. Yeah. So basically filtering out the noise, because in any business you do, there's always going to be people who say, oh, like when I first got licensed to real estate, people said, oh, don't get a license. There's a bubble. It's gonna pop and you won't make any money. Imagine I listened to that, So filtering out the noise, because in every industry there's noise. Interest rates, this and that, people are going to talk about it. And so filtering that out, and then focus. You got to stay hungry. You got to keep looking at what you want, and always learn how to evolve and trust yourself. But it's focusing. Focus on the tasks, filtering out the noise, and just staying focused on what you want.
No, for sure. So you guys have all been in business for yourselves for a while. So you've gained a lot of experience, and I think all of you guys would agree that any process, especially when you take on something where you're the sole person responsible for all aspects, there's going to be a huge growth that comes from all of that. Coming out of like Riyadh, we spoke last time, like coming from a corporate environment. There's different things set up. There's aspects of it that are easy. So as you guys transitioned into being business owners, and like I said before, you guys have been business owners for a while now, what are some things that you would say you wish you knew before you started that you now understand?
That's a very good question, actually. I don't know where you're going with it. It took a while to get there. but really good question.
Yeah. So for me, I guess the biggest impact to my business would have been coaching, having a coach.
Oh, are you really not going to say us? Are you really going to be that person? Okay.
It took me coaching to get me there. So, you know what I mean? It took coaching to open my eyes in terms of...
Good recovery there.
I practiced that one. Yeah, but coaching was the biggest thing for me, just opening my eyes. And then with coaching became, what Simon says, networking, because I got to network with other like-minded individuals in the coaching program. You share ideas. Will spilt.
It's in real time.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know how I missed my mouth. Look how big these lips are. But whatever.
Yeah, so for me, I wish I got into coaching earlier, because it would have helped set some boundaries and some standards and some good habits. Because when you first get into real estate or any type of business, you obviously develop good and bad habits. If I could have weeded out the bad habits earlier, I would have been more successful faster. But again, it's a learning curve. So I'm not mad at it. It just, I wish I had coaching earlier.
Interesting. What was the question again?
No, the ending part, please.
Yeah, just don't relax. What would you hope that you what would you hope that you knew before you started your journey as an entrepreneur?
You can say my name. It's okay.
You want me to say something? Want
Say
to
it,
answer?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Systems.
Yeah.
Before I became a member of this amazing team that I was begged to join. I really did not have any kind of CRM. I mean, I had a CRM, but it wasn't really run well. And now I have a great system. It's fantastic. And there's a true value, and I always want to do events as a realtor, and because I love doing events, and I think events are a great way for us to network, but also a great way for us to showcase to our clients that we do support local business leaders in our community.
Yep.
And so that's the biggest thing I've learned, and also our local business partners that we work with are super appreciative. Like when we posted that video for Torch
Oh yeah,
yesterday, my God, like the reaction was amazing from them, from people, and it's just, I think for the longest time, and we're seeing other realtors do what we're doing now, which is fine because we're great. But I think for the longest time we didn't really connect real estate with communities. But I think that connection is essential in getting people to understand the value of realtors. Saman,
Saman's up.
A hard time with this.
How long will this take, do you think?
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm going to time him. Come up with an answer.
And you're the most patient person? You want to time?
Here's the thing. As I said last week, I think Saman's the least patient person that I know.
Yeah.
Of the three of us, I should say. And then Riyadh, and then
What a good
me.
call.
Interesting.
What do I wish I knew? I mean, like becoming an entrepreneur, I think each business line obviously has a different cycle of money coming in, money going out. So I think understanding that is very important, because then you need to really understand, when can life go on, right? You start a business, and if you're like going cold turkey and you're starting a new business, there might be some time before any money comes in. You're likely going to have money going out than coming in first. You understanding that, and then being able to budget for these things, being able to budget for your taxes at the end of the year, your payroll. Those are all very important. Those things can get you in trouble and can probably end your business if you don't plan for those properly. So having an understanding of the cash cycle, and being able to budget properly,
which is important.
Very. Yeah, because when you're making that jump, you want to be able to have some type of safety net.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to have like something planned, for sure. So moving into the next question, last time we talked about how you guys have routines and things of that nature. Going back in a little bit more into that theme, how do you guys balance your business with your personal life? We could start with you, Saman.
For me, it was like the beginning of the year is always a good reset for me, because my goals every year are pretty much the same. They don't change. It's like fitness and like health and wealth is pretty much like my two goals that I look at. I think health, the healthy part lets me have a very productive time in my business, and then if I'm productive, then that leads to doing well in business. And my like the family thing is not a goal for me, because it's just part of my life. It doesn't need to be a goal. Like I'm always there. Like it gives me flexibility. Like my business gives me flexibility. Like I wake up and have breakfast with the family, take the kid to school.
What's for breakfast usually?
Of course.
Nothing sexy by any means. Just like during the week, it's probably coffee with either a bagel or like scrambled eggs. Weekends can get adventurous, but but going back to the question, like it's the balance has worked out well. But I would say, like, when I do get busy, then my routine does like completely fall off.
And
Like,
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. When
like
I'm
the
busy,
gym
it's-
falls off. Yeah, like the and some maybe sometimes I'm not there for dinners, but I would say 70% of the time I'm there for almost everything, and that to me is good enough. And I have a family that understands that.
Yeah.
So the balance has worked out well, I think, because just naturally it's worked out well. It hasn't been forced, and I understand that sometimes that the balance is not there, but for me, if it's there 75-80% of the time, that's good enough for me and my family.
Yeah, for me, very similar to Saman, but I have non-negotiables. So like my again, when you're busy, right? Because obviously you need to put money, food on the table and make money, right? So, but when it's pretty balanced, non-negotiable. So my morning routine, I try to be home for dinner. Again, a lot of shows happen in evenings, but again, you kind of have that balance. But basically, just having that balance between what's your non-negotiable, what you want to get done, like. Sometimes around 8-9 o'clock, you guys don't hear from me. I'm like, it's crickets, right? But that's family time, right? So, and you're the same way. I know when you're not responding because it's family time.
When am I not responding?
Yeah, you're always responding.
Oh, my phone. I can always respond with this too.
Yeah, but see, all that's off from me. Like I don't have my watch. I don't have my phone near me sometimes, unless I know there's like an offer out or something's coming in. Different story, right? But if I have nothing on the go, I'm engaged whatever I'm at.
When you're with your family, what are you watching? What are you doing? What's?
It depends, right? Obviously, you guys know I love to eat, so I mean, a lot of the stuff revolves around food, and then shows. I mean, I have 2 girls, so we.
What are you watching right now?
Watching the originals right now, which is like part of the Vampire Diary.
No idea what that is.
Yeah, but no, I've done like One Tree Hill. I've done.
Is it 1 3 Hill or one like the actual tree?
I'm not being Trini here. No, One Tree Hill. What was the other one? I forget what it's called. Lorelai and Rory. I can't remember.
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls. Yeah, I watch out with them. So I do watch it, but they watch basketball with me, so it balances out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Balances, man.
What was the question? I forget the question for some reason. It's been so long.
How do you balance your personal life and?
I can answer if we're doing the podcast in your basement.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
It's pretty simple. I have a wife that's pretty flexible.
Or wants you out of the house most of the time.
She does. But my real estate business is I was a little different. I work from home primarily, so I'm home a lot. So my balance is me trying to get things done during the week. Because on a weekend, if I'm working, I work, and then I'm social. Like I don't want to have to come home and do laundry. I don't want to have to I've read enough books on being efficient and stuff to know that Monday through Thursday, I typically get all my housework done, everything finished. Because real estate is busy on weekends. If you have an open houses, let me just say this: amazing opportunity to meet people, but a real inconvenience for your planning because it's the afternoon.
Yeah, it's not 2 to 4.
Oh, no.
It's like 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's what it is.
And then you got to pull up recent sale. It's a lot of work. And so for me, I'd really enjoy that balance of having my weekends completely devoted to either real estate or social. And during the week, I get all of my admin and other stuff done during the day. And then evenings, it is either showings or, in my case, I go out to restaurants and see people that I might, know. And yeah. So for me, it's a different, I don't have children, so it's a little easier for me to balance my life.
Yeah. Really quick follow-up for each of you. How has that balance changed from the early days as an entrepreneur to where you're at right now? Well, you can start and then we'll go down.
You start? I'm starting?
You start.
Yeah.
Your voice is so sultry right now.
I have a cold.
You have a cold, really?
No. I have something, but
for me, I'm weird about my schedule. I've always been weird about time. You're learning that, Joseph, about how I'm very weird about time. I don't like clients wasting my time. I don't like meetings to waste time. Last company I worked for before I became a realtor full time had 1 meeting a month. They did not want time wasted on meetings. I love that. So for me, my non-negotiables are I'm all about scheduling things. And so if a client needs something, I schedule it. And I'll meet with the client whenever, show them the property whenever. But let's make sure if we're going to see a property that's within, your budget, like that meets the criteria that we met about.
Yeah.
Because in this business, time is all that we have control over.
Yeah. So for you, the balance hasn't really changed because you've always been.
I'm worried about my time.
Yeah. Okay. And for you, Saman, has there been a change in how you've been able to balance your personal life and business?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, like coming from another career to this,
Which was
a big change in the accounting world.
Oh, really? Accounting world. Wonderful. Wonderful.
So there's been a big change. But now being in this business, I think it's always, those cycles of not being busy and then getting very busy. So for me, I guess it's changing like every couple of months,
Right.
but I always do like a hard reset. Once my clients are kind of taken care of, then there's like an opportunity where I can do a reset, and then that lets me get back on track. So I'd say every year it probably happens, 3-4 times where it's like the cycle is completely thrown off.
Right.
But then I at some point do bring it back to normal scheduling.
But coming in from when you started,
Yeah.
Did you have to get used to that ebb and flow?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that yes, in the sense that it was my first time doing this full time,
Right.
so I had to really understand the cycles of when is a busy time and when is not a busy time. And then once you're busy in the business, you can have a consistent 8 to 10 months of busy time, so that can really throw you off.
Right.
And then I think that's when you have to make a choice. Like, do you like it? Do you want to maintain that type of lifestyle? Because you have a busy year and you do whatever, you do 40, 50 deals, then it's manageable, but it's hard, right? So then during those 40, 50 deals, some deals are probably just not worth your time to begin with.
Yeah.
So perhaps you can, you decide, what is worth taking on and what is not worth taking on.
Right.
So I think just understanding the business allows me to say yes or no if something is going to, have an impact on my work-life balance.
Yeah. Awesome.
So for me, so kind of similar to Saman, when I first came into corporate, it was almost like a fire went on me. Like, okay, I need to figure this out because now there's no steady income.
Yeah.
I need to have consistent closings. So for me, it was
Right.
running after anything like a chicken. You know what I mean? Like, so the original part of my career was running after anything. Oh, you want to go downtown? You want to go to Hamilton? You want to go to Niagara? You want to go?
Yeah.
And I was running around. It doesn't matter. I would drive 500 kilometers a day if I had to.
Yeah.
Just to get the business because I didn't want to say no to anybody. So,
Right.
so the change was saying no and saying, hey, I can do it next week, or I can do it tomorrow at this time.
Yeah.
Not going on my client schedule always.
Right.
That was the biggest change. And now there's more balance in that.
Yeah.
But before, I ran after everything. I'm not gonna lie. I like leases. There's a one time I had nothing coming in. I put up an ad in Kijiji. I go, come look at this apartment, and I sat in somebody else's listing and let all the leases come in. I took them all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that you pointed that out. Setting boundaries again, because this was something I heard from someone that's saying no to the wrong client or the wrong situation leaves room to saying yes to the right one.
Yeah, you have the hardest thing about entrepreneurship is saying no.
Yeah,
like because you think you need every single client, whether it isn't, but it's balancing that you could say no. Not every client's going to fit you.
Yeah,
and Will just went through that with the hard client right now, right? But it's okay to say no.
Yeah. You have to. You have to. Well, we have these presents here. We had how long have we been going for? I don't want to rush this.
34 minutes.
Okay,
34,
yeah.
but
Okay.
You gotta go. Okay.
Now,
I did have one last question.
Yeah, please.
I did have one last question I want to get to because
I'm all about presents today.
Because I liked what Saman talked about.
Man, you're on a roll today, man.
It's because he shaved his face today.
It's a new setup.
It's a new setup. And he has a clean shaven face. He looks at a day over 30.
Yeah. So he talked about like going through those times and starting to understand how it varies. He said you have to decide whether you want to do this. So a question for each of you is, and obviously you still went ahead and did it because you have something that motivates you. So a question for each of you is, what motivates you? And we'll start with Saman first. Yeah.
So this is our last question.
This is the last question.
For this
All right.
fun.
What motivates me? I think it's the family unit, motivates you. Is the fear of failure motivates.
Yeah, for sure.
I should have went first.
And just making sure now that I have a son, making sure that he has the right foundation growing up and support. Because truth be told, I look at some of the people that I grew up with in high school, university, and you see like the support system that they have, right? Like what kind of they can kind of walk into success,
Right. Right.
because of, whatever parents' business,
Yeah.
relationships parents have, and so on. And I saw that firsthand, and I saw that some kids took it for granted.
Mhm.
And you see it now, you're like, "Oh, what happened?"
Yeah.
So making sure that I can kind of build that foundation and let my son kind of grow into it,
Right.
but also setting him up for success, and making sure that he understands that he has to work for it.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, well, same thing, family, and obviously the fear of not succeeding. But what makes me, and Will can tell you this, just playing pickleball, it's just the challenge. Like
Right.
it keeps me going no matter what, right? Just like I remember the first time I was only selling like $600,000 houses and people were selling million. I never got it. I was getting pissed. I was like, $1 million homes, I'm not getting it. I need it. And then all of a sudden I got 3 of them in my lap. And I was like, okay, now I need 2 million. I need this, I need that. So it's just a constant challenge of where do you go next?
Yeah.
Because when you're an entrepreneur, there's no ceiling, right? You can keep going, challenge yourself, and see where you want to be. So, like, I don't even know what's next. If you ask me what's next, I have no clue. We just gotta keep grinding and see where we go, right? So,
yeah,
it's that keeps me going. The challenge.
Oh, for sure.
And for me, ultimately, at the end of the day, I just have to be happy.
Mhm.
I think ultimately, like you can make $1 million or $2 million a year, sell $9 million homes or whatever. Do cartwheels. I can't do a cartwheel anymore, but if you want to try,
I would pay to see that. Actually.
Agent Will Ellis, 2 broken arms.
Yeah.
No, but the reality is that if you're not happy and you don't wake up saying, "Man, I enjoy my life," you got problems. Like that's the thing. You gotta. That's for me. We're all gonna die one day. And I know for a fact that when I'm on my deathbed, I can truly say that I am very happy. I don't know why. We had Romy here just a second ago. He said, "I don't know why I've been made this way. I've always been happy, and my life has not been easy. But if you can't laugh at life, then you're not living. That's how I live, and and that's how it needs to be. And for me to be happy and to be successful, in my opinion, I got into real estate not for the money. Yeah. I got into real estate for the flexibility and schedule that it provided me, and also the opportunity to do different things throughout the day. Because I think when you work a 9 to 5, it's the same thing each and every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with real estate, I get to work with great guys like Saman, and also like Riyadh. But you also get to work with them. Like we have so many great real estate agents that are out there that are doing great things. You get information from them, get inspired by them. And, we are a massive community, and I wish at times we would come together in actual, honest ways to help each other, instead of being catty, because I see those, the real estate hacks garbage that happens all the time. But that's the reality. We want to be the best we can be for ourselves and for our families, and that's what we wake up each and every day. Now,
so I snuck mine in while.
What is this? So Joseph got us gifts. We feel so bad. We got you nothing.
That's fine.
Is it really?
Let's see.
Is the gift the podcast?
The gift of podcast.
So we got masala tea.
Yes.
So Will likes his tea.
I love tea.
Oh, there we go.
I hope you two.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
So this is from South India, where my wife is from. The first time that I visited, the tea plantations in India. It's something to behold. It's amazing, but understanding like the British came and set all that up is kind of crazy, but like it's something to behold. But the first time I went, and we had some masala tea from the mountains in Munnar. It was amazing. And so every time I go back now, one of the things I try to do is to bring back and share with some people. And since we've been working together and everything, I wanted to share some with you guys.
Told you, I love this guy.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
we can't forget about Joseph.
We can't forget about our Joseph.
Oh boy,
we cannot forget about our Joseph.
Our Joseph.
Joseph.
What is that?
It's our Joseph. We all love you.
Okay.
Saman more than the both of us, but whatever. As a congratulations to what's happening in your own life.
Oh my
we decided to get you a little something.
What?
For your little baby that is happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, look at Joseph.
Oh my goodness. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. I really appreciate this.
Look at that. Now you can't say that I'm difficult. You can't say that
you're still difficult. It's Michael Jordan. I have to be ruthless, right? Come on.
There you go.